Friedberg, you had a science corner here. A couple of different things came up. The Hubble telescope, 3D printed organs. Where do you want to go with this?
I mean, do you guys want to talk about how the universe is expanding at an accelerating rate and expanding differentially everywhere we look, and we don't understand how or why?
100%. And Sachs needs to use the loo. So yeah, definitely.
He's off. He dropped.
I love Science Corner. Let's do it. Friedberg, it's your time to shine. The Sultan of Science. Tell us what's going on with the universe.
My favorite topic, astrophysics. My favorite topic. Sachs is back.
Are we headed for Uranus?
We're actually dead set on it. We're dead. It's a collision course with his anus.
He disappeared again.
He's just going to drop in and do Uranus jokes.
I hear him giggling with his camera off.
He's with his writers. He just went to the writers' room to get an update on the Uranus jokes.
It's long been known that our universe is expanding. We've all heard about the Big Bang Theory. And a couple decades ago, scientists began to observe the brightness of supernovae or exploding stars. And then by looking at their brightness, we could tell how far away they were. And then looking at the shift of the light, whether it's getting red or blue, you can tell whether the light, the supernova is moving away from us or towards us and how quickly. And so what scientists have used those observations to deduce several decades ago, and for which a group won the Nobel Prize, is that our universe is expanding, meaning that everything is moving away from itself. It's almost as if we're all in a cake. The best analogy I've heard is that there's raisins in the cake. And as the cake expands in the oven, all of those raisins look around and they're all moving apart from each other. So the distance between everything is getting wider. Space is expanding. And
from
so we
the
can actually
central moment of the Big Bang.
That's the theory, is right. This all started in the Big Bang. And it's not like, we're all in the middle of the universe and the universe is moving away from us. It's that the entirety of space is expanding itself. And so everything is moving away from everything else. The challenge in the data was that recently we saw that different types of stars that were observed with the Hubble Space Telescope had actually a different rate of expansion of the universe than what was previously thought from the supernova that we saw. And everyone thought there was something wrong with the Hubble Space Telescope data. So, in a final print published last month, the James Webb Space Telescope, which showed much higher resolution of imaging and as a result, much better data. And here's an image of it. So you can just see the difference between what came out of James Webb and what was used in Hubble. So that shows one star that was used to calculate the rate of expansion of the universe. And what this star showed is that the rate of expansion of the universe, as measured across 1,000 of these stars called Cepheid stars in 5 different galaxies, had a value that didn't match the value that we see when we look at exploding stars very far away. And so it once again confirms what the original Hubble data showed, which is that the universe is expanding at different rates in different parts of the universe, which totally doesn't make sense. And there's no really clear answer as to the physics of why. If there was a Big Bang and the universe started to expand, it should be expanding the same everywhere. There's no reason that different parts of the universe should be expanding at a different rate than other parts of the universe, that there's differential expansion happening across the universe. And it really tells us that there's very little we know or understand about this large-scale structure of the universe and why these things are happening. There was one group that put out a theory where they said that the local universe where we see these Cepheid stars that this data is based on, there's almost like a little bubble. And on the outside of the bubble, there's galaxies and they're pulling stuff out faster than what's happening where there's not as much density. So there's a lot of different reasons and explanations for why this might be happening. But it's kind of a big story because it basically confirms that we see a lot of differential expansion happening across the universe and we don't know why. Just another big mystery of the universe. So super kind of interesting confirmatory data from James Webb this week. Chamath, do you want to talk about the pig kidney?
I mean, I think it's really incredible. They took a kidney from a pig and then they used CRISPR-Cas9 to edit out the certain subset of the pig genes and edit in a certain useful subset of human genes. And then they transplanted that kidney into a 64-year-old man. And he apparently seems to be doing well. It's really incredible. And this is a guy that was at end stage kidney disease. And my father went through this. But when you're at that end stage renal disease, you're getting dialyzed every 3 days for up to 4, 5, 6 hours, trying to basically you have a machine that does the job of the kidneys for you to keep your blood clean. But it's kind of a death sentence, and it's like a slow moving death sentence at that. So the idea that you could now use this effectively infinite source of organs seems really compelling. Pretty amazing. I don't know. What do you think?
Definitely where we're headed. I don't even think they're going to need. Yeah.
Speaking of medical breakthroughs, did you guys see the guy who got the Neuralink chip?
Incredible.
Like playing chess with his brain?
He's using the Force. Yeah.
That was also
using
incredible.
the Force.
Yeah, he described it as he was playing chess. And he said, like, I love playing chess and I've learned to use my mind to move pieces around. And he said, like, it's like having the Force. I mean,
totally.
Wow. Amazing.
I watched the live stream and he said that he was a quadriplegic from the shoulders down, but he loves chess. He wasn't able to play chess. Now he's able to play chess. He was able to play Civilization, the game, which I guess was really hard in the absence of having this chip. And now he can do that. It's incredible. I mean, it's
so
really
cool
incredible
that they kind of went public with it. Or obviously he agreed to go public with it. I think Trevor is his name.
It's pretty amazing. And there's more amazing stuff coming. They're making significant progress over there. I was talking to somebody who works there, and it's going to be, it's going to be a process, but they're making significant progress, and they're going to have, I think, even bigger announcements in the coming year. They're getting it done. It's for real, folks.
My kids were really blown away by it. It's interesting to me what like penetrates their cynicism bubble and like what they get actually.
Yeah.
Impressed or excited by, and they thought this was really cool.
It's so funny. It's like people are breathlessly like looking at the Elon Don Lemon video, and they're trying to opine whether he had a good interview or a bad interview. And it's like he actually had one of the best weeks of his life.
Yeah, Starship 3 made it up. Yeah,
Starship had an incredible performance last week, and then this thing this week. I mean, what an incredible 7-day run. It's more than most of us will have in our lifetime.
It's also nuts. Like
so crazy.
That Don Lemon interview, like there was actually some really interesting topics discussed, but I felt like this was the perfect like baton passing between old media and new media, where he was constantly trying to do a gotcha journalism thing. And Elon was trying to engage in good faith and like an interesting discussion. And then every time the discussion got interesting, he kept trying to go back to like sensational gotcha journalism. And it was a totally wasted opportunity. If Don Lemon had just stayed in the moment and like engaged in good faith instead of trying to get this like clip. It was a really bad performance by Don Lemon, I thought. It was really getting interesting at moments in time.
He's obviously trying to get a job back at some mainstream media company.
Maybe.
This is his resume. If he can basically get some clip of Elon saying something that he can twist into something that it doesn't mean, and he can say, I got Elon Musk, then he can get his job back at CNN or one of those places.
He got paid out in full, like 20, 30 million bucks. And by the way, those jobs they don't exist anymore. Like Tucker and him were like the last of that generation to get those huge paydays. That's over.
Don Lemon got paid $30 million by whom?
I think CNN, the report was CNN paid out his full contract. The same thing happened, I think, with Tucker. They both got paid their full contracts. Whoever negotiates those contracts with the networks over the last couple of decades is awesome because it's pay for play. Like whether you are on air or not, you get paid, and then they don't let you go to a competitor. That's why both of them are doing internet stuff, X or whatever, carved out stuff.